in order to make something successful, there are so many different moving parts that all have to hit right and at the same time. And that can include things like geopolitical elements.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you have to go through Brexit and figure out what to do with that. Or now we're dealing with higher shipping costs. And it seems like with board games, there was a whole bunch of conditions that came together that all happened to be right at a certain time that allowed us to do what we all did, and yourself perhaps most successfully. What do you think? Are there systemic changes that you think are coming that's like beyond crowdfunding being more difficult? Product manufacturing, like, are the elements changing that we need to be aware of in the world?
It's really hard to predict the future. I wish I could, because I've been as surprised, I think, as anyone over the last couple of years with how the pandemic impacted the tabletop space. In many ways, it impacted it in a very good way for the first year. A lot of people were at home or looking for something to entertain themselves at home, and then that started to impact the freight shipping space and manufacturing, things like that. So, and then Russia attacked Ukraine, and that impacted the world in a way that we didn't anticipate. I don't think that will happen with, say, China and Taiwan. I don't think something like that will happen. But if it did, I think that would have a huge impact, not just on the tabletop gaming space, but on manufacturing, on the entire world economy. If something got in the way, something big got in the way of China being the manufacturing leader of the world. And I wish I could say that there were solutions around that, but I know you've delved into that. You've talked about that, about manufacturing elsewhere. It's very difficult. But I wish I knew the future. And I just kind of have hopes, and I've tried to have backup plans. Yeah.
Well, it's a weird thing to think about, that if you are an independent creator and you just want to get started, first of all, people are expecting you to be global from day one, like your tremendous logistics and shipping network, but also the time horizon that something like a Kickstarter game can take, sometimes years. Now, to me, shorter, to get to completion, get to fulfillment. And then you got to be thinking about, what if China invades Taiwan in the middle, by trying to get this manufactured? And that's one of the things I think the internet makes harder, because now we're so connected and everything is global. If it were just a store down the street, maybe not influence that as much.
Right. Oh yeah, totally. Yeah. If you're making something in your garage, it's totally different than if you're making 10,000 of something halfway around the world and shipping it to 4 different fulfillment centers. Yeah. It's a whole different ballgame.